going to have to fasten your seatbelts.
Right.
And all day today I prayed about it, consulted God about it, and I said, Lord, is this what you want me to talk about tonight? And it's amazing because the Lord consented for me to bring this tonight, and He gave it to me on a few days ago. I kind of doubted Him on today, and I talked to Him again. And some of the people that were here on last night, that are not here tonight, I was saying in my spirit, they're going to be here Friday night. And there are no shows tonight. Because I was thinking in my head, some of the people that was here last night, they need what I'm going to talk about tonight. Yeah. And they're not here to hear it. But the Lord, when He gave me this, Mother Taylor, He already knew who was going to be here. I want to talk about marriages tonight. I want to talk about singles. I want to talk about sex. I want to talk about some things that may make you feel a little uncomfortable, but one of the things I found out in my almost 53 years of preaching, that a lot of stuff that's swept under the cover. If they're doing it in church anyway, you can just look at folk having babies out of wedlock. They're having sex. And they're saying in the choir. I can't get no help in here.
Come on, you tell the truth.
They're saying in the choir. They're having sex. They go to clubs. They do a whole lot of stuff and say they're saved. Contrary to popular belief, it's still a sin to have sex out of wedlock.
Amen.
I know it's going to probably get some quiet. You know, if I knew it was going to be this quiet, I wouldn't do what I would have done. I would have bought me a box of amens. And I would have set them right here. And so when I needed an amen, like we can get it. Are you listening to me tonight? So y'all work with me. As I told you on the first night, I'm still struggling because I had some dental work done, so I'm still struggling. That Kiara back there, a young lady, she, I don't know her personally, but she had sent us a request. They had the announcement on Facebook, I think on Shiloh's page, one of the pages. And she sent a message, by messenger, that she wanted to come. And she's here tonight. Amen. Say amen for her. Amen. And I sing a hope tonight that her coming will not be in vain. That's right. I'm going to rapidly go into the word tonight because, like I said, I've got to go to Greenville. I'll get up about 6:30 or 7 and go to Greenville in the morning and speak. And get a little day's rest tomorrow. And then Monday morning, we'll be leaving for Albuquerque, New Mexico for our National C.O.G.I.C Leadership Conference, which starts in Albuquerque on Monday. So we'll be in Albuquerque, New Mexico until Friday. So you pray for us as we leave for our National Leadership Conference. I kind of said to myself, I don't know why they chose Albuquerque. They had such an exciting city last year, Jacksonville, Florida. And we were there in the middle of January and y'all were freezing in. It was 85 degrees in Jacksonville. And I looked up and they said Albuquerque. And they announced last year we were going to Albuquerque. I said, Albuquerque. And it's been some years since I've been to New Mexico. Going back to New Mexico. I've never been in the city of Albuquerque. I've landed there at the airport, but I have been to Las Cruces, New Mexico, and Deming, New Mexico, and Alamogordo, New Mexico, but never Albuquerque, the capital of New Mexico. So we'll be going there. The C.O.G.I.C folk are coming from around the world and walking on Albuquerque, New Mexico. Get your Bibles tonight. I want you to go, we're going to go to the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. And I want to begin reading at verse number 18. When you have it, say amen. Amen. But you should have it. It's the first book of the Bible. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that man be alone. I will make him a helper. I'm reading from the New King James Version. I will make him a helper comparable to him. Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field, every bird of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called each living creature, that was his name. So Adam gave names to all of the cattle, to the birds of the air, to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper comparable to him. And the Lord God, in verse number 21, called the deep sleep to fall on Adam. And he slept, took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh in his place. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into a woman, and brought her to the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Verse number 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and join to his wife, and they will become one flesh. I want to talk about tonight marriage. Is it bonding or binding? Marriage. I would like for you to take some notes tonight, because I think this lesson tonight is going to help you. Now, I'm going to say this right off the bat. As I've gotten older, as you know, I told you February 15th, I'll be 61. And as I've gotten older, the Lord has settled me more into a teaching mode. I would like to hoop like Pastor Taylor. God knows he can hoop. And I would like to do it like him, but the Lord has kind of changed things. And he's letting me know over the years, Mother Taylor, that sinners need to be preached to, but saints need to be taught.
All right. Amen. All right.
So as I've gotten older, I do a whole lot more teaching in my messages. So, we're so used in C.O.G.I.C of say yes, and we just, he preached, and sometimes we don't get the essence of the message, and you ask what they preach about. Well, I don't know what he preached about, but he sure did preach. That's not good. And if I can teach you tonight, the greatest sermon that Jesus taught, the Bible said he sat down and he taught the disciples, the Sermon on the Mount. And so tonight, I want to share with you tonight, marriage, bonding or binding. If there is no bonding in a marriage that takes place, it becomes a very binding situation. Nobody likes to be bound into something that restricts them. One of the great tragedies of our culture is that many people who get married are not given time to bond. What people usually do, they have a 30-minute marriage ceremony that they've spent months getting ready for. They went broke putting it over. They get a week off work, spend 2 days of that driving someplace because they're so broke they can't fly to their honeymoon. To spend 2 or 3 nights in a hotel having sex, which they've been doing all along. Bonding, what has been bound together, only to go back home. And generally she goes to one job and he goes to another, and from that point on, they're like ships passing in the night. It really takes much more than that for real bonding to occur in a marriage. I never will forget my wife's grandmother a few years ago. She lost her husband. She's dead now, but she was the church mother at Davenport Temple at the Bishop's Church. And She wanted to have words at the funeral, and she got up and she was crying and saying, I stuck with you. I was with you to the end. She was married to her husband for 64 years. And she would tell you, out of those 64 years, 63 of them, she was miserable. But in the Church of God in Christ, they want you to stay there. Stay there and just take it and believe God. 63 of those years, she said that she was unhappy and miserable and was controlled. All of those years. So if there's not real bonding in your marriage, then you're just together because of bonding. You're just tied up. You become like roommates with benefits. Are you going to listen tonight? That's what happens in many marriages. Statistics say that 50% of all marriages end in divorce. Now, did my research today, it's now at 58%. Almost 6 out of every 10 marriages end in divorce. And if you get married a second time, 81% of those end in divorce. People are just not staying together because if there is no bonding in your marriage, the marriage becomes binding. You're bound in something that you thought you wanted. You love them so much you wish you could have ate them up. And 6 months after you married them, you wish to God you hadn't ate them up. One of the first things I want to say right off the top is that marriage and monogamy is not natural. Write that down. Marriage and monogamy is not natural. What is monogamy? That means in a relationship with one person. That's not natural. Let that sink in. Monogamy, having one spouse for a lifelong commitment, is not natural. Very few animals are monogamous because monogamy is not natural. Monogamy is spiritual. Say it. Monogamy is spiritual. If you don't become spiritual, you're not going to be very good at monogamous. Are you listening to me? If you don't become spiritual, you're not going to be a very good person in being satisfied with one individual. Because it's not natural. It's a spiritual thing. Because it is not natural and it does not agree with your nature to just be with one person your whole life. We want to take a poll tonight and ask how many of you all have been with one person your whole life? Because it's not natural. People have done it. It only works when you walk in the spirit and not in the flesh. Because when you talk to your flesh about being monogamous for the next 50 years, your flesh says to you, are you crazy? Being with one person for the next 50 years, what are you talking about? All this flesh out here, and you're talking about being with one for 50 years? Because monogamy is not natural. That's why unsaved people, a lot of them have given up on marriage. They just shack. They just shack. And if they decide they want to slip out and do out, I'm not married to you anyway. Marriage has gone out of style for a lot of folk. In this 21st generation, in this 21st century that we're living in, marriage has gone out of style for most unsaved people. Because it does not seem to work, because it's not natural, it's a spiritual thing. And since they are not spiritual, it's not natural for them to want to settle in with one individual. All right. And without a real close walk with God, you will never be able to manage it or master it. You have to walk in the Spirit. You have to get rooted and grounded in God to become comfortable with something that's not natural. You got to be rooted and grounded.